Alright guys, so yesterday I have uploaded the PvP tier list for April 2025 with the update of Fire Spirit Cookie and Agar Cookie. So in today's video we're going to go over the PvE tier list as well as go into the game and talk about some of the teams that you guys can use for PvE as well as the best treasures that I do also recommend because PvE section doesn't really change too much, but for the returning new players it might definitely help out. So let's get into it. Make sure to keep in mind that this is all still going to be based on my personal opinion and experience within the game. And yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, let's go into the stay away, obviously, with Sonic all the way down to our Moon Rabbit. So the cookies that are technically still the ones that are going to be the worst in my opinion with how their skills are and how useful they are inside of the game. So make sure to save your resources. Next one is going to be C tier from Candy Diver all the way down to our Red Velvet. More towards the below average. I would say they're like cookies that if you really love them, go for it, but if you don't, then stay away from. B tier is going to be from Clotted Cream all the way down to our Peach Blossom. All right, so these guys are more, I would say, a little bit near the average side of things. All right, and you can use them, but again, a lot of them are going to be outdated compared to what the world exploration is now, especially once you guys go to the higher levels. They're really not going to perform that well. A tier is going to be from our Pattaya all the way down to Golden Asmanthus and then Red Asmanthus as well. But except I'm going to actually move down our Golden Asmanthus and Red Asmanthus to B tier. So it's going to be our Pattaya down to Wedding Cake Cookie. All right, so A tier are going to be more towards that now. I would say average to maybe a little bit above average depending on what you look at. But I would say these guys, as you can see, are mostly outdated cookies with new cookies that are going to be more limited. Limited in their skills, limited in the amount of damage they're actually able to dish out. And I mean, the combo of like Wedding Cake and Black Forest are not too bad either, but they're mainly focused on one certain type of enemies, really summoned units, and that's why they're really good in Living Abyss, except for the fact that if you guys know, the PvE tier list does not include guild boss battle because that particular section of the game requires different types of specific teams. So just keep that in mind. Pattaya and Capsaicin still, I would say they're pretty bad, except maybe the only one I can argue is whether to put up Capsaicin to S tier or not because of the invincibility at least. And the next one is going to be our Situational. So Situational is from Linzer all the way down to our BTS. Just keep in mind BTS is just not obtainable anymore. That's why it's in the Situational part. I would say right now Linzer and Minchoco are the two that you definitely do want to go and invest in the Situational part, and you want to keep in hand because Minchoco attack speed as well as Linzer is the only cookie right now still inside of the game that are able to debuff bosses that are immune to debuffs. All right, weird, right? But it goes through the boss's immunity is what Linzer's skill does and allows you to dish out so much damage. Inside of the Cake Tower, Linzer is like literally your best friend. All right, in a lot of situations. And then the rest of them, like Zap cookies to get rid of HP shields. We have linking, you have purify, you have attack buff, healing reduction, and just flat out stat buff and stuff like that. So that's the reason why these cookies are in the Situational. Now moving on to the S tier are going to be from regular golden cheese all the way down to prune juice, and then we have Black Sapphire down to Rockstar. So actually inside of this tier list we also do need to move some of the cookies down, and I'm actually going to be moving down something like Black Sapphire here, and I'm actually even thinking about moving down Blueberry Pie. But the reason why I'm moving that Black Sapphire is because Black Sapphire really needs to be used with a lot of different cookies. Like Candy Apple needs to be in the team, and you want to have Shadow Milk to maximize the effect. Also, you want to have some more poison cookies, and honestly speaking, like poison is not the greatest inside of PvE, so that's the reason why I'm going to move down Black Sapphire. And then the rest of them are not too bad in here. I would say the only one I would say is like Blueberry Pie, maybe could move down to A tier as well. You guys could let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about that one. But the rest of them, I think they're going to be pretty good in the S tier, above average, right? If you guys didn't know, Sparkling did receive a match candy, and that's the reason why Sparkling is in the S tier. But still, would you use Sparkling compared to all the other healers and things like that you have? Probably not. So that's the reason why we're going to go into the SS tier, and that's going to be from our Golden Cheese Awaken all the way down to Nutmeg Tiger. And then we have Star Coral all the way down to Icicle Yeti, except for the fact that I'm actually going to be moving Star Coral up to the OP tier. So we're going to have all the way from Cream Puff down to Icicle Yeti. So as you guys can see, it's going to be a lot of the tanking units, as well as a decent amount of just attacking units, as well as a lot of support units. The support units in this particular case in PvE are actually really good. You have damage resist, you have a lot of healing, you have debuffs, as well as debuff immunity. You have Nutmeg Tiger, who's actually able to summon 2 units, who's able to taunt, and you're able to heal and all that stuff. Crit buff, crit damage buff, 2 cookies that are just not gonna die, keep on healing, increasing attack and giving buffs and stuff like that. So that's the reason why, like, SS tier, I would say, are the cookies, especially the epic side, are the ones you guys can buy with your mileage points. If you guys already have the cookies on the OP side and you want to use certain cookies like from here that you just like to see, but if you guys want the best out of the best right now for the PvE section, it would be from Shadow Milk all the way down to our Star Coral. All right, I brought up Star Coral because Star Coral is definitely, I would say, OP side. Stun immunity, has attack speed up, you have like attack up, you have so many buffs from Star Coral. It's actually crazy how good this support is. Only downside is squishy because epic, and that's the reason why you won't see Star Coral inside of the arena right now. But besides that, it's pretty much the same, and we're gonna add in actually Fire Spirit in here as well. I would say Fire Spirit is pretty much in the OP side of the World Exploration and PvE section. Only downside is, I would say, against bosses. Probably against bosses not the best, especially if the boss are immune to like burns and stuff. I would say that's probably where like Creme Brulee still would excel. Someone like Shadow Milk would probably be a little bit better. Burning Spice a little bit better. Wind Archer is a little bit better. So just keep those things in mind. And then last one is gonna be our Agar cookie. I would honestly put Agar in like either the C tier or the B tier. I would say better than Prophet, so probably in the B tier, just because you have all the element. You are able to freeze, you are able to stun, and all that stuff. So I would say Agar in B tier as well. Honestly, for the design, kind of sad that Agar is not used too much, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same. But that is pretty much what we have for the PvE tier list here, guys, for April 2025 with the new update. All right, and then I will go into now the game and talk about like an example team that you guys can use, as well as the treasures that you want to really focus on as well. All right, guys, so I'm actually on the re-roll Ruli account where I was rolling for Fire Spirit. If you guys watched the live stream, this account is new, and I just wanted to kind of use a new account to show you guys what kind of things that I will focus on and what kind of team should be a really good one to start just pushing through all the story episodes and things like that. So as of right now, this is the team that I am currently using because of the fact that I was able to pull all of this inside of this account. But for those of you guys who don't have all of those cookies, obviously you would want to use different teams. First of all, I would say Pure Vanilla is probably the best one in my personal opinion to choose from the Might of the Ancient Part 1. So we're gonna put in Pure Vanilla in here basically as our dedicated healer. Once you get the Awaken, very good. Next one is gonna be from our epic side of things. I would personally tell you guys right now, the best one to pull or to get is Rebel still. Rebel is really good. Not only are you able to do good amount of damage, but you also do have the decoys to tank for you. So really good, and a solid option. For the tanks, I would say honestly, it really depends. If you have someone like Burning Spice, then definitely use Burning Spice. But if you don't, there are a couple different options that I would personally recommend you guys to use nowadays. All right, it's gonna be Fettuccine. The reason for Fettuccine is because of the fact that you have a taunt, you have a basically invincibility, as well as healing, and you're able to slow down and debuff the enemies as well. Fettuccine is going to be a solid option. Other options are going to be inside of the gacha. You go here, mileage points. I would personally say burnt cheese is another one that I'm actually just gonna buy on this account as well. And then I would say if you do have the ability to build magic candies and you want to build a magic candy, then Financier is another really good one. Get it up to at least level 1. You don't really need to get it up any further than that in most of the cases, because you're not going to be using light type cookies too much, and a lot of the bosses are going to be immune to debuffs as well. So that is another thing. So I would say burnt cheese is honestly going to be a really good one, especially because of the fact that burnt cheese doesn't require any magic candy. All right, so I will put the burnt cheese in here, right there. And then out of the DPSs, or the damage dealers, obviously they're going to be really good ones like our Wind Archer. You also do have someone like Fire Spirit. If you have Burning Spice, then Burning Spice obviously is going to work as a tank / damage dealer as well. So I would say those are pretty darn good options too. But the one that I really want to let you guys know of, obviously, is going to be Creme Brulee. Creme Brulee will carry you in a lot of the stages early on. And I personally would say just get Creme Brulee. If you don't have him yet, just spend the 2,000, get him, because he is actually just so good. All right, so right over here I would just put in something like Creme Brulee. And then the last one, I would say, you know, there's a lot of different cookies you guys can use in here, but if you guys need another healer, or you guys need another like support in here, then Cream Ferret is going to be a great option. If you guys can't get someone like Cream Ferret because you guys are new, just like this account, then lastly, like I talked about, Star Coral would be your best option. And these cookies right now, the ones that I'm talking about, can be used inside of the cake tower as well, and are going to be really good for the cake tower as well. So I would definitely recommend you guys to go and invest in these cookies, because you know, they're going to just be super good long term as well. And then so let's just put in our Star Coral, and this will be like the quote-unquote very good beginner you know, PvE team. And then once you guys do get better cookies, like right now I have Burning Spice, I would probably replace someone like Rebel for Burning Spice. Since I have Wind Archer, I'll probably replace Creme Brulee. If I have to deal with some, you know, certain bosses, then I'll probably slap on Creme Brulee with Wind Archer as well. And then right now I have Golden Cheese Awakened too. Technically I could probably replace someone like Rebel here for this particular case right now, to do a little bit more damage. If I don't need Golden Cheese, then I put in Rebel, and I'll just probably stick with this particular team for some time being. If not, I can just put in like White Lily for some extra damage, switch it out for Golden Cheese for some extra damage, and things like that. And then now into the actual treasure portion. The best treasures are gonna just be these right over here. These three are gonna be your best, honestly, PvE treasures. And then situationally, you're gonna use something like the feather. The feather is pretty good. And then monocle are gonna be like a couple of the things that you might use situationally with the enchanted robe. Besides that though, in PvE sections, it's not really required to use any of the other ones in most of the situation, if not any. And then I would say again, the biggest thing that people need to understand is, just because you have an epic jelly watch, if your epic jelly watch is not maxed out, please just use the common one. Common one is going to be way easier to level up and then maximize on the cooldown, and cooldown is going to be so important in a lot of the stages, because you want to be using your skills a lot more, and having that skill usage one more time may make a difference in between you actually clearing or losing. And then just to keep it short, just realize the general toppings for the tanks, all right, excluding Burning Spice, are gonna be Solid Almond. Tanking, you want to have more damage resist. Someone like Rebel though, I would say Swift Chocolate, because of the fact that, you know, you want to be spamming Rebel's skill as much as possible. Burning Spice, obviously Raspberry. And then your damage dealer, most of the time, 95% of the time, are gonna be your raspberries as well. And then I would say the supports / healers, most of the time are going to be using the Swift Chocolate. But I would probably make a separate video on actually how to build those OP cookies as well. I know a lot of people have been asking. And one last thing I do want to talk about is going to be this portion right over here. If you guys can't beat a stage, then go to the hire cookies. Please hire these OP cookies and then just use them. It's just going to make your life a lot easier. All right, just keep that in mind. You have like Fire Spirit, you guys can go and basically borrow and use for your team, so take advantage of this. And there are actually going to be missions as well sometime where you have to actually use these cookies from the hiring side. So that is pretty much what I have for you guys. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys found the video helpful. If you guys have anything, please let me know down in the comments below. But good luck with the grind, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.